In 2019, a team of researchers at the University of Pennsylvania conducted a quiet experiment. They took 143 undergraduates and split them into two groups. One group continued using social media as normal. The other was limited to just 30 minutes per day across all platforms. After 3 weeks, the restricted group showed significant reductions in loneliness and depression. But here's the part that stopped the researchers cold. The group that kept scrolling got worse. Not by a little, measurably, clinically worse. Your phone is not a neutral device. It is reshaping your neural architecture every single day, and most people have no idea what they have already lost. This is what happens to your brain, day by day, when you walk away from social media for 30 days. The first thing you will feel is not freedom, it is agitation. Your hand will reach for your phone dozens of times per hour, even when there is nothing to check. This is not weakness, this is neurochemistry. Social media platforms are engineered around variable ratio reinforcement, the same reward schedule that makes slot machines addictive. Every scroll is a pull of the lever. Sometimes you get something interesting, sometimes you do not. Your brain's ventral tegmental area has learned to fire dopamine not when you find something rewarding, but in anticipation of it. That anticipation loop is what keeps you scrolling. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Behavioral Addictions found that heavy social media users showed withdrawal symptoms remarkably similar to substance withdrawal, irritability, anxiety, and an obsessive desire to check their devices. Brain imaging revealed reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, the seat of self-control, and heightened activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center. During these first 72 hours, your brain is searching for its fix. It has been conditioned to expect microdoses of dopamine every few minutes. Now those doses have stopped. The discomfort you feel is real, and it is the first sign that something was deeply wrong. Practical takeaway: expect the discomfort. Do not replace social media with another screen. Keep a physical notebook nearby and write down every urge to check your phone. You will be stunned by the frequency. By the end of the first week, something shifts. The constant low-grade anxiety begins to lift. You start noticing things: the texture of your morning coffee, the sound of wind through a window. These are not poetic exaggerations. This is your dopamine baseline resetting. Dr. Anna Lemke, head of the Stanford Addiction Medicine Dual Diagnosis Clinic, describes this process in her book Dopamine Nation. When you flood your brain with easy dopamine hits, it downregulates its own dopamine receptors to compensate. You need more stimulation to feel the same pleasure. Remove the flood, and the receptors slowly begin to recover. A 2022 study from the University of Bath asked 24 participants to take a 1-week break from social media. The results showed significant improvements in well-being, reduced anxiety, and notably, reduced depression. But the researchers also found something else. Participants reported that the world felt more vivid. Colors seemed brighter. Conversations felt more engaging. This is not imagination. When your dopamine system recalibrates, ordinary experiences become rewarding again. A conversation with a friend, a walk without headphones, a meal eaten without a screen in front of you. These things were always there. Your brain just could not feel them anymore. Practical takeaway: use this week to reintroduce analog pleasures. Cook a meal from scratch. Read a physical book. Go for a walk with no destination. You are retraining your brain to find reward in slower, richer experiences. By week 2, you will notice something you may not have experienced in years: the ability to focus. Not forced focus, not the kind that requires willpower, but genuine, sustained attention. Dr. Gloria Mark, a professor of informatics at UC Irvine, spent 2 decades studying attention in the digital age. Her research found that the average attention span on a single screen dropped from 2.5 minutes in 2004 to just 47 seconds by 2020. Social media did not just compete for your attention. It fundamentally altered your brain's capacity to sustain it. A 2023 meta-analysis published in Psychonomic Bulletin and Review examined 25 studies on digital media and cognitive function. The findings were unambiguous. Heavy social media use was associated with reduced working memory, impaired sustained attention, and decreased ability to filter irrelevant information. The prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for executive function, showed measurable thinning in chronic heavy users. During this second week, that prefrontal cortex begins to regain its footing. You will find yourself reading entire articles instead of skimming headlines. Conversations will feel more present. You will start finishing tasks you begin. Practical takeaway: this is the ideal time to begin a focused project. Learning an instrument, starting a journal, reading a book you have been putting off. Your brain is hungry for deep engagement. Feed it. This is where the transformation becomes profound. Around the 3rd week, people consistently report something unexpected. They start having ideas again, not reactions to content. Original thoughts. This is the reactivation of the default mode network, or DMN. The DMN is a set of brain regions that activates when you are not focused on external stimuli, when you are daydreaming, reflecting, imagining the future, or thinking about other people's perspectives. It is the brain's creativity engine. It is where insight lives. A landmark 2015 study from the University of Sussex found that the DMN is suppressed during task switching, exactly what social media demands. Every new post, every swipe, every notification forces your brain into a reactive, externally driven mode. The DMN never gets a chance to activate because you are never truly idle. Research by Dr. Mary Helen and Mordino Yang at USC demonstrated that DMN activity is essential for constructing personal meaning, developing moral reasoning, and processing complex emotions. Without it, you become reactive instead of reflective. You consume instead of create. When the DMN reawakens, you will notice it. Ideas will come to you in the shower, on walks, while lying in bed. You will find yourself thinking about your life with a clarity that feels unfamiliar. This is not new. This is how your brain was designed to work before you outsourced your idle time to algorithms. Practical takeaway: protect your boredom. Do not fill every quiet moment with a podcast or audiobook. Let your mind wander. The discomfort of doing nothing is the doorway to your deepest thinking. By the final week, the changes are no longer subtle. A 2020 study published in Cyberpsychology, Behavior, and Social Networking followed participants through a full 30-day social media abstinence period. The results showed lasting improvements in life satisfaction, reduced social comparison, improved sleep quality, and a significant decrease in FOMO, fear of missing out. But perhaps the most striking finding came from self-reports. Participants described feeling like they had woken up. They reported a stronger sense of identity, clearer personal values, and, remarkably, better real-world relationships. Without the constant performance of an online persona, they reconnected with who they actually were. Your brain has now established a new dopamine baseline. Your prefrontal cortex is functioning with greater efficiency. Your attention span has measurably improved. And your default node network, the seat of your creativity, empathy, and self-reflection, is firing regularly again. Practical takeaway: if you return to social media after 30 days, do it with intention. Set hard time limits. Turn off all notifications. Unfollow accounts that exist only to provoke emotion. You now know what your brain feels like when it belongs to you. Do not give it back cheaply. Here is what no one wants to say. Social media companies employ thousands of engineers whose sole job is to maximize your time on their platforms. They use persuasive design, infinite scroll, autoplay, and algorithmically curated outrage because these things work. Your attention is the product. Your neural pathways are the raw material. The 30-day detox is not about willpower or discipline. It is about seeing clearly what was taken from you. Your ability to think deeply, to be bored, to sit with yourself, to create something original, and deciding whether you want it back. Your brain is not broken. It was hijacked. And the fact that you are still watching this means some part of you already knows that. The question is not whether you can survive 30 days without social media. The question is whether you can recognize who you have become with it. The clock starts whenever you decide it does.